Hello everyone, this is Irusha and you are listening the Irusha podcast. And today my guest is the founder and the CEO of the LSE Education Innovators, Mike. Mike
Yes,
Empolgado.
hello everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think my surname is probably quite difficult to pronounce.
yeah.
I'm going by Mike internationally, but originally I come from Poland, and my full name is Michał Dziobkowski.
Okay, great. So, can I have your short intro? How you get to the online marketing and where are you from?
Sure. Like I mentioned, I originally come from Poland, but I came to Asia in 2012, and from that time I'm traveling through Asian country. Currently, I'm staying in Malaysia, and we opened a company, an education company here in Malaysia called LSE Education and Innovators, that is primarily teaching children K to 12 that had no access to education or uh, had exceeding the education standards and looking for something else, some other alternatives. So those are our beginnings. And at this point, I'm mainly actually focusing on helping other educators go online and start their business in education industry by utilizing social media. And I started this primarily because I went through this whole process myself, and it was not really easy. So I figured that I will do a lot of good by showing other teachers and other educators how they can serve students and people around the world by just joining this online world.
Great. And is this online or physical that you are doing?
So that depends what you're asking, because like I said, our company, the LSE Educations, we have a couple different projects. So we're currently serving both children, parents, and teachers, right? And when it comes to our main program, we are running a refugee education center in Malaysia. So we're serving and catering to children who came to Malaysia from Myanmar and had no access to education. So we set up the center for them, and we're coordinating the learning and the teachers here so they can have a chance to educate equally with others. Now that's the part that we do here locally and physically. Now, when it comes to our online business, I mainly focus on other educators. I um, utilize Facebook platform and show them the strategy how they can find and build their audience, uh, the students that are out there and need the help by creating their online personality, their personal brand, they call it, right? And then using the tools that Facebook and online marketing provide in order to deliver their services.
Okay. Beside your, LSE Education Innovator company, do you have any kind of the work that you do beside that?
So I basically, my background is in education. I was the moment I left Poland, I was teaching in the school in international schools for around 15 years, I would say, before I actually decided to left the school and go online. And only recently, in 2019, I transitioned from the school, from the traditional school to teaching online. So I do have a lot of experience in teaching in other forms, but at this point, my main focus is, like I said, on online teaching. And the only other thing that we're doing at this moment is teaching in our education center.
And in education, what you teach to the people?
So we have children anywhere between 3 and 14 years old. And what we teach them, that depends on their current needs. We call it teaching for the needs, right? We have the very young children, they need pretty much social and personal education. So we're focusing on building their identity and building the relationship with other students. Now, when it comes to students who are a little bit older, we're extending the program to math, language, arts, design, and other sections that they show interest in.
And my next question is, as I found that you have written built your unskinable business by communicating effectively online, even if you don't like social media. Can you elaborate more about this for our audience?
Yeah, for sure. So as I mentioned, I started this business online for other educators, mainly because I was going through this process myself, transitioning between from the school, traditional school, to teaching online, right? I was sort of looking for clients, looking for to tutor people, right, or do some group classes outside of the school. And I've heard from other people that it's not that difficult. You can pretty much just go on social media and find the students who needs help with this, with certain things, and then just teach them, right? So it sounds like a perfect idea, and I try to do that. But to be honest, when I was still in the school, I didn't really use social media much. Like for me, social media was a big waste of time, to be honest. I felt like all of the students who were in the school and were all constantly on these social media platforms, they just behaved like zombies, and they forgot how to actually be social in the real life. So I was not really keen to join any social media platforms. But once I've learned how these platforms can be used for marketing and for business, I realized that I actually need to be on them. So it took me, I guess, around almost 2 years to actually learn how I can use social media platforms and not be used by them, not be manipulated and just waste my time on those platforms, right? And I figured that this knowledge that I gathered through collection of all the online courses and the programs, the coaching programs that I took is a lot to go through. And at the end of the day, I realized there's just 4 simple steps that somebody needs to do in order to start earning money from education online. And I figured I want to be that person who's just gonna allow other people to jumpstart their online business if they want to teach online. So the program that I created was meant for educators, for people who are already in education, who has some experience in education and would like to offer their services online. So the steps that I'm showing is pretty much what I did for myself and for other customers of other clients of mine who also wanted to teach online, and it seems like it just proven strategy that works.
Yeah. And um, looking to your answer, I am genuinely interested in how you, collaborate with the people like teachers, or how you reach out to the people whom you want to collaborate with. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's my question.
So like how I find my customers, my clients, yes.
No, how you, reach out to your team members. Dream team members to have in your team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So at this point, like I can maybe just share an example how such a collaboration would work. So for instance, we have a team of educators who are catering to early years, right? It's an earlier sector, meaning serving children between 2 and 6 years old, right? They all want to find parents with the children this age, and they have elements. They have their own programs, or they have some special their specialized knowledge in this area. But they all have their own unique way of serving these people. So what I do is pretty much find these people online, find them on Facebook in this particular case, um, connect them through a series of Zoom calls and messages, right, and emails. Now, once we have a match, once we have a team that seems like have a common mission and wants to work together, then we set up the plan, we set up the marketing campaign, we set up the marketing plan. We started building the community for this team online, utilizing the Facebook pages and Facebook groups. And once we have the initial community, we pretty much do the research, the market research, what this community can possibly benefit from, and then we cater for their needs again, right? So that can be done through either online events or online challenges or other online programs. Sometimes it could be even an automated program, although normally the automated programs are coming later on once we already deliver some uh, initial value through series of engagements with the audience.
Okay. And who you are most inspired from, I mean, in your life to be entrepreneur like this? And yeah.
Well, this one is a tough question, good one, but a tough question because I have so many different inspirations, to be honest. I have to say the first inspiration, the first person who ever made me think like I want a little bit more than just be a teacher in the school, that would be Simon Sinek. I guess that was my first mentor, and I started to follow him in, I guess, 2012, the moment I left my country. I learned a lot from this guy. But other than that, I think the biggest help in my transition from being a teacher in a school in a classroom to being an online entrepreneur and an online educator, I would say that has to go to three people. And I would say that equally, all three of them equally impacted me and gave me like a different elements for this whole process. So that was Tony Robbins with his mindset, right, and the way he looks at the world. That was Dean Graziosi, from whom I have my marketing strategies, who taught me like how the marketing today actually works. And then most strategies, tools, and uh, also I would say teaching style online I got from Russell Brunson, who I'm working with at this particular moment.
And as you are the founder of the LSE Education Innovators, what does this company? I mean, yeah, you have obviously said that it provides the education to the um, children, and after they grown up in the further level, and what kind of education that this institute, I mean company, provide after they I mean after they start doing work or job. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so our big vision behind LSE Education Innovators is actually hidden within the name itself. So the three letters that stands at the beginning of the name, LSE, stands for learn, share, and earn. So I felt like when I was in working in a school, the learning was ending at just learning. like most students are just learning for the sake of learning. There is no follow-up after that. Now, when it comes to the real learning in the real life and making it useful, the learning have to be followed by the deeds, but by action, right? Which is like, for if you think about it really, most of the learning is useful, is actually applicable if you can share it with somebody, if you can do something that will help another person in whatever task that is at hand, right? So what our learning over here looks like is that we are always learning for the sake of doing something right after, to apply that knowledge that the children are learning, right? Whatever that knowledge might be. So we never just follow blindly books or text or doing some elements of curriculum that just say, okay, this age group should know this age group should know that. That makes no sense anymore. In my vision of education, learning should happen for a reason and should be relevant to students. They need to feel that whatever they're learning they can use right away, and not just use for whatever like cause, but use to do something useful, either for themselves or for people around them. And then we actually follow up this concept, and that comes from, like I said, my mentors Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi were saying that knowledge is actually worth nothing if it's not applied, right? So we can pretty much be the most knowledgeable people in the world, and it will do nothing. Nobody will care if we're not using that knowledge for some doing some good around us, right? So what we try to show, and we're showing it by example, because like I said, we're running a refugee education center, and this is our sort of like flagship project that is not really bringing us money. We're just doing it for the sake of promoting our mission. We want to show people that we actually do what we teach. We do what we preach. And at the end of the day, the last element in LSE is the earning, right? The earning might be treated in two ways. One, people are thinking, when I talk about earning, you probably hear, okay, so you're earning money, right? But the thing is that before money comes, you have to earn trust, right? So that's what we're teaching. That's the last part of the teaching. Once you start sharing your knowledge with others and bringing them some results, right? Bringing them something that they wanted in their life, you start to earn their trust. They start to like you and trust you because they see that you're a valuable person for them. And if that's the case, there's just a little small step from having the trust to being reimbursed in money for the time that you're spending on helping other people around you. So that's our mission and vision for the center. We want to produce lifelong learners who are learning passionately for a very specific certain reason, to share this knowledge with other people, and that will make them successful because they will be paid for this, but also fulfilled in their heart because the things that they are doing are actually helping communities and societies around them.
Till now, how much results that you get? I mean, out of the 100%, how much satisfied are you with this organization? I mean, with the outcomes of this organization?
So we are still quite young company. Like I mentioned, I actually transitioned from being a school teacher to being an owner of the company, a founder of a company, and an online entrepreneur in 2019. That was the first year that I made the move, and from that moment until now, well, I guess it's quite a big achievement to actually have a working center, a working education center where children can come in and receive education. We at this moment have well, I don't want to make up any numbers, but I think we just recently crossed the level of 50 students in our center. So if you think about it, make it very like visual. We just saved 50 children that would not have any education if we don't exist. That is our biggest achievement when it comes to our physical activities over here in Malaysia, and I feel very fulfilled and happy about that. Now, when it comes to my online activities, I managed to keep on bringing new customers to my coaching business. I currently I'm running two group coaching, have two group coaching groups and individual clients who are utilizing the tools that I found, and I'm helping them implement those. And I would love for this to grow and reach more educators around the world. So I'm definitely 10 times more fulfilled than I was as a teacher in a school that was just simply following the rules and serving many masters, I would say.
Congratulations for you. And yeah, and my next question is, what would you like to suggest to 18-year of yourself?
That's a good question too. To be honest, I kind of think about it daily because I'm also a father of three girls. Sorry, I said two because I have two on my own and one of my wife, current wife. So we have three girls, and I keep on thinking about what are the best lessons for them. And I would say that the most important thing is actually embedded in our mission. All I would want for myself and for my children is to never stop learning, keep on growing, never put a cap on yourself, right? So even if it seems like it's something easier to do, at the end of the day, whenever I did that, whenever I locked myself only within, certain part where I know that I only play this one role and there is nothing else that I can do to get better, to grow, that was making me miserable. That was making me like very unfulfilled and soulless, I would say. So if I have to just give one piece of advice to whoever who is 18 right now, I would say find something that you're interested in, that you're passionate about, and follow that passion and learn about that, everything that you can, and then start giving back what you've learned, because that will take you to the place of abundance.
For this advice. And in your whole of your life journey till now, what experience do you want to share with our audience now?
Oh wow, that one is also a big one. So many experience to share. But let me think. I guess you know what? Be bold. I would say I would say one of the biggest thing that affected me on my journey was my traveling. I was always very keen to visit the world, to see other places, to see other countries, learn about other cultures. And the moment I started to travel, I actually were able to see the bigger picture, to see that the world is not only circling around people in this one place, and the thoughts that they have are not just the center of the world, and other perspective give you like allows you to just remove yourself from the picture and look at it from the side. And that's just something that that you can only have if you actually take this risk and move out from your immediate surrounding, move out from your place of origin, right? And try to see the world for what it really is. You know, go and test out different things, find out what else is out there, because the world has so many things to offer.
And listening to your, answer, I have next question. It's like not a question. It's like something. Multiple choice question. Um, if you have the choice between two, like reading the people's mind or traveling the universe, what would you choose between two?
Well, for me, it's gotta have to be a traveling. I gotta say, this is my life passion, to travel the world, to see everything there is to see. And when it comes to reading people's mind, well, I tell you, if you really learn to listen and observe, you can actually have what you need to have, the information that you need to get, even without reading the mind.